Happy Monday, everybody. Andy and Steve from WagerTalk.com. Welcome to the Road to Millions. We've got Monday Night Football tonight, Cowboys and the Chargers. We're going to go over a couple of bets for everyone in that game tonight, and we're going to do Bankroll Reset Day. Please hit the like button while you're watching the show and while we're going through everything if you're enjoying the gambling content. We're going to get into our Monday night bets, but you guys know we got to get some positive vibes from the audience. Listen, I have to bring up one of the most diabolical genius plays of the weekend. At Lil Eekna, I don't know. I think I know your real name, but thank you for the comment. Steve, look at this. Look at this play. Saints and Texans race to 25 points. Neither. What a great cash on
Yeah,
that
that's smart.
game.
Slick.
That was such a really, really good one. Joe Mixon, longest rush under. That might be a rinse and repeat play every week. His longest rush was 5. It's kind of, is it Mixon or Najee Harris for like starting running backs that are great for 2-yard runs? I can't put AJ
Najee.
Dillon. It's Najee.
That's who I'm going. That's who I'm rolling with.
So, CJ Stroud over half an interception plus money. That was a really good one. So, thank you, Lonnie. The Cream Hunt play. Yes, that one was really good. Let's see. Jacobs 50 plus. All absolutely. Myers absolutely the 25 alt. So really, really good stuff. Where can you find Corbin? Does he have a Twitter handle? Yes, he does. I will post that in the comments at Corbo Vaughn, Vaughan, I believe is that one. So I was surprised that we got as many people through to the Survivor pool as we did. Like that could have been carnage, but Bills get through, Dolphins get through. So we did not lose hardly anybody on that one. So
Even with the Eagles and 49ers losing, huh? Well, 49, yeah.
not that many. I mean,
Yeah,
I think most people have used the Eagles and the 49ers. And I don't know, man. The 49ers, that would have been a tough one to I don't know. If you hadn't used them, yeah, I guess if you're playing PJ Walker, I guess that could have.
He looked pretty good though, man. He held his own. Like he did what he had to do to keep him in the game. You got to give him that,
Absolutely.
like so.
There's such an advantage when they don't have film on the quarterback. I truly believe that. So, all right, guys, what do we have up for today? Well, we preach low volume on this show. And listen, MMA, I did not have an official UFC play that was up for Saturday. We used a couple of small pieces and some cross-sport parlays, but I did not have one big play up for UFC. Why? Because I was waiting for this event. 5% play is up. Put that up first thing this morning. It's half price, so you can get it for $17.50. Grab that. It's a insane card, UFC 294. It's in Abu Dhabi. It starts at like 10 a.m. our time. So wild card, but super, super bettable. And I just absolutely love this play. I've been waiting for this one for a couple weeks. And then, of course, we have our Monday Night Football play. Half price, only $4.50. Great way to start your week. Grab a couple units. I selected that play personally, so that way I can take all the credit if it wins, and I can pass the blame because we're a team if it loses.
There you go.
So that's no, I'm just kidding. So, but yeah, Monday Night Football play $4.50 and MMA play 5%. Get that locked and loaded for the weekend. So, all right, actually 2 NFL best bets here, Steve. Let me change that. So Quentin Johnston, I feel like this guy was kind of one of those sleepers and like, oh, he's got a lot of potential, and then sneaky like late round draft pick before the season started. It really just hasn't quite panned out. So you're taking his under tonight, right?
Yeah, the numbers dipped down a little bit to 30.5 since we talked about it because Palmer will be playing. It looks like Palmer's good to go tonight for the Chargers. So, but I still like it at 30.5, especially with Palmer in the mix. You saw Johnston last week. He only had 1 reception on 3 targets for 18 yards. It's in a game without Mike Williams and Austin Eckler. We have Eckler back tonight, and he could vulture some looks out of the backfield for sure. We know that. The Cowboys' pass D has still been great. They're the second least fantasy points to wide receivers and 6th best against the outside wide receivers, and that's where Johnston's going to be. I feel like he's a great fantasy stash for future, for like later in the year. But against this defense, not against this defense this week, I'm passing and going to go under again on him. He hasn't sniffed this total yet this season, so let's take the under.
Like the Quentin Johnson under. I'm going back to Dak Prescott over his rushing. We looked at him against the 49ers because I thought the game was going to be close. It was not. I'm just going back to it. The theory remains the same. In blowouts, he does not run. So the three big blowouts this year, Giants, 49ers, Patriots, combined 3 carries for 7 yards. In the close games, the Cardinals, that was a game they lost. And the Jets, somewhat close, only 20 points, 9 carries, 38 yards. So if these games are even remotely close, he takes off and runs. But if it's a blowout, it's like there's no way he's putting himself in harm's way. I'm sure the coaches are telling him to, get down. So this game, I think, has a lot of points. I think there's a lot of yards. I think there's a lot of possessions. And I think he is going to tuck and run a couple times. Wouldn't surprise me if there's at least 1 or 2 design play calls where he runs. So give me Dak Prescott over 10.5 rushing. This number was a few yards higher last week, and since he had the stinker, we're back to down around this 10.5. So I'll take Dak over 10.5. All right, fade of the day. Just keep going back to fading this guy. Like Brandon Cooks, I don't know why the books put under 3.5 receptions. It's juiced now, and I'm assuming it's going to be more and more juiced, but I'll take it, man. Like 9 catches in 4 games. He's only going over this total 1 time. That was against New England in a blowout where he caught every single one of his targets. He's just not getting a lot of targets. This Chargers team, you can attack from the outside. I expect Gallup and CeeDee Lamb to get a lot more targets than Brandon Cooks, and it's just not happening for him. He's been battling that MCL injury. He doesn't look fast. His longest reception has gone down every single week. It was like 17, 16, 12, 11. It's not working for Brandon Cooks this year. So I'm at 2.5, all right, on the fence. But at 3.5, yeah, I don't see him getting 4 catches. Like seriously, think about this Cowboys team in this sense, Steve. You got Pollard. He's going to get more looks than Brandon Cooks. Gallup is. CeeDee Lamb, of course, is. Jake Ferguson is. And the way that they run the ball, like this Rico Dowdle, he is probably going to get more rush attempts than Brandon Cooks. Like, this guy could be the 5th option on this team. So I don't see 4 receptions in this game for him, even though it's a great matchup. So I'll take Brandon Cooks under as we keep fading Mr. Cooks. All right, sleeper of the day. You're going to baseball, Steve. What do you like here?
So it's a sleeper because yesterday we saw a 2-0 final. So when we're looking over 4.5 in the first 5 here, Framber Valdez has been shaky. He's given up 15 runs in his last 3 starts across only 13.2 innings of work. He gave up, in his only playoff start, he gave up 5 in the first 5 by himself. So he got to this total by himself against Minnesota. Eovaldi's been strong. He's been really good in the postseason. But he's also 2-0 to this number in his starts due to the great run support he's gotten from the hot Texas bats. Here's the thing with Eovaldi, though, is he struggles against some key Houston hitters. Altuve's 11 for 38 with 5 home runs. Alvarez 8 for 11 with a home run, and Bregman 8 for 19 with a home run. So we got the hot Rangers bats against a shaky Valdez. Eovaldi's been good, but he's getting a ton of run support. But this Astros team that just got shut out yesterday, they're too good of an offense to keep a lid on forever. They were top 5 throughout the entire season. So I'm looking at them getting in a situation where they're playing they're going to go on the road after this, and they don't want to go down 2-0. So I'm looking at their bats coming alive here, and the Rangers just keep doing what they're doing, get us to 5 in the first 5 innings to cash this one.
Love it. Look at some runs in this Texas-Houston game. Stat of the day, of the last 20 opponents of the San Francisco 49ers, Steve, 19 of them have lost the week after playing them. They just beat up their opponents, and they beat Dallas 42-10 last week. So if you're looking at a team that maybe might struggle the week after play, 19 out of 20, that is a trend. That is not coincidence. I don't think so. Yeah, if you're just looking at fading the opponents of the 49ers, you've done really, really well. That's crazy.
It's wild.
Think you could have done that 19 out of the last 20 games. Just like, oh, that's all I'm doing is fading the team that played San Francisco. So
they beat you up on both sides of the ball. That's part of, you know what I mean? It's both. You're going to be active against them on both sides of the ball. So, yeah. And I love your look. I love your look on Cooks with the long passes, his game, and him falling short of that,
It's
him
not
his
happening.
numbers going down with the long reception. That's bad news for him.
Yeah. So interesting. We'll see if that trend continues, and we'll look at the Browns. The Brown look at the Browns. Browns beat the 49ers, and they get my Colts. I told Andrew McGinnis and Steve. There's a local radio guy. I love this quote from him. He was like, Gardner Minshew. He's like guys like Gardner Minshew. They're kind of like a donut tire. Like they're good for like 50 miles, but you don't want to take it cross country. So it's like Gardner Minshew, PJ Walker, like some of these guys. Like okay, in a pinch they'll do you good, but you don't want them long term.
At least he can get you that first 50 miles, unlike Mac Jones.
Maybe he's in there. Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's true. So yeah, so that's your stat of the day here, guys. So all right, let's do we're gonna do Bankroll Reset Day. It was a strange week, so nothing too dramatic. We did end up losing minus 2.5 units, and we can go through a breakdown and see exactly where that happened. So we'll look this up. So we had talked about how we had been on an incredible hot streak with turning profit in certain amounts of weeks, and how we go back to that stat that Ralph Michaels gave us, that if you hit 60% of your bets, if you break that down over the course of the year, you're only turning a profit 7.2 months out of the year. So we knew that we were kind of due for a little bit of regression. So I'm really happy that we pulled back on the units and the amount of plays. I mean, only 21 plays in the last 7 days. And I'm pretty happy with that. We didn't force much on there. So NFL was the big one. We lost the 5% play in frustrating fashion. The first quarter unders were infuriating. That's 3 first quarter unders in a row we've lost on the last play of the quarter. Like literally. And one of them was like a 40-yard pass. One of them was a 65-yard run. It was just like one of them was a field goal. It was like, man, we're one play away from completely turning that around. But so NFL started off hot. We've cooled off a little bit. The primetime games have been decent. Then you go down the list. College football, there's another 1-0. Steve, that was a great call. We're now, 5-1 on these?
No, 6-1. 6-1 now. 6-1 now.
Yes, 6-1. So those are good. NHL, we told you we were going to be low volume, and we played it perfect. We went 2-0 for +3 units. I'm extremely happy with how that started, because our theory about how to go after the season worked. Tennis, poor Corbin, 2-1 for 0 units. Like the number 1 player in the world lost as a big favorite. That MMA stat, the 2-1 is kind of deceiving, because we used a couple of them in cross sports parlays, which were 2-0. So we had a couple of the NFL plays and MMA plays. So the NFL and the MMA stats aren't as bad as they think, because those other plays were in the cross sport parlays. I didn't like that we only did 1% on those, because we were very, very confident in those. And I think that's a mistake on my part, that we only put them in at 1%. Those could have been upped to 2%. So I think this week, if we have looks as confident as we were last week, then we'll go ahead and fire away on that one. So, Steve, we're still without basketball, but we do have NHL, and I think it's kind of more of the same this week. We're really 1 or 2 plays away from having pretty good weeks here. So was there anything you could take away from the last 7 days?
I mean, I'm happy with our start, obviously, in NHL, and college football keeps rolling. So I'm happy with those two. The NFL, man, it looks bad, but it's just, we really, when you bring up, I hate to bring up like injuries and stuff, but we really got bit by the injury bug a little bit too. Damian Harris gets injured last night. That burns a play on us. Essentially, they ran the ball like crazy to Murray, and so you got to figure he would have been in the mix. Our 5% play even had an injury aspect to it with Fields, and going out, you got to think maybe later in the game, maybe if he's in there, maybe more gets over for us, maybe not. But those first quarter unders have been very frustrating. The field goal yesterday, literally 4 seconds left on the clock. So just any little thing burns a little bit of time for us in that one, and that's an easy cash. It is what it is. You can't harp on these injuries and these things happen. They benefit us as well. So it is what it is. But yeah, it was a tough week in the NFL, and we'll just have to look to turn it around this week. I think we have the ability to do that though for sure.
Oh yeah, we're plus units in NFL. We're plus units in college. So this is not a disaster. I mean, minus 2.5 units. Like it's not. This is not a huge disastrous week. It's kind of a bah humbug type of week. So the losing weeks will happen. You just like we always say, like the losing weeks will happen. You just got to limit the damage and being only down 2.5 units. When you look at when I'll do the Bankroll Builder spreadsheet, you'll see. So I think the biggest thing for me is I was really happy with the volume that we had. Only 21 plays. We really picked our spots, and I think one of the adjustments we got to do is just make a couple adjustments here on the percentage of some of these plays. So NBA is right around the corner, and we'll be the NHL plays depending on the juice will be 1% and 2%, and I expect NBA to be the same. So once NBA starts, we'll have a few more plays sprinkled in. There is a golf tournament this week, so I will. It's a really good bettable tournament. So there's going to be at least one golf play. So we had 21 plays last week. I would expect in the neighborhood of 25 plays this week, but NFL is such a long season. We have 11 more weeks in the regular season, so you're going to have some down weeks. We started off red hot with 4 straight winning weeks, so 2 small losing weeks in a row, and we'll just try and get it back on track. But not the best week in the world, but certainly not the worst. So, all right, let's pull up the Bankroll Builder spreadsheet. If you do not have your Bankroll Builder spreadsheet, go ahead and there's a link in the pinned comment in this video. But so last week we started with $1,000 a few months ago. You'll see we were at 1,539. One unit was 1,539, so we lost 2.5. Drops down to 1,501. So one unit this week will be 1,501. Again, adjust it for your personal bankroll and whatever your bets were. Just make sure you're keeping track on your units and make sure they're up to speed here. So if we want to go back and just look here, so we'll just start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 weeks here, Steve. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of them were profitable. So that's a pretty good pace. If you have 8 profitable weeks and 5 losing, you're on track to do really well. It doesn't sound great, but it's really solid. So we'll try and get back on track and get back into the positives after 2 down weeks. So, but very excited about the next couple weeks. Only down 10 or 11 units over 2 weeks. Inexperienced and amateur bettors will be down that on a Sunday if you're not careful. So,
That's true.
It really is. Just a reminder, guys, don't overexpose yourself with units. You work too hard for that bankroll. Don't fire off crazy bets. Don't fire off too many of them. I mean, Steve and I were talking. There's just so many bets that we like and so many that we don't like. But when we went back and looked at it, it could have easily been a horrific week if we would have put in a ton more bets and happened to pick all the losing bets. So we had some winners, had some losers, but all right. We're looking at the Dow Jones. Dow Jones had a good bounce back there, Steve.
They're
Almost catching us. They're
on the upswing.
So they're at 2.59. We are at 101. And when you kind of look at this chart here, this goes back to this is our 2023. So if we started at 0, you see kind of some ups and downs. We have a huge upswing here, but yeah, there's dips. That's just the natural form of what it's like. We had a big dip here, but really nice upswing here, and we're kind of a couple little dips here, little ups, little downs. So based on how the chart has gone, I would expect some pretty nice weeks ahead of us. So, all right, guys, I think that is going to do it for us. I'm wearing my Price is Right shirt because tomorrow I'm going up to the Detroit offices, and we are going to the traveling Price is Right show on Wednesday night. I'm very excited about that. Don't worry, I'm taking all my stuff with me, so we'll be able to do all the videos. But yes, we all have the same shirts, just in different colors. So that's why I'm wearing my Price is Right shirt. When you buy a Price is Right shirt to go to a show, it's kind of one of those where you only get a couple chances to wear it. So I think I'm going to wear it for the next few days.
Yeah, enjoy it. Yeah,
To get my
it's a nice
money's
shirt.
worth out of it. After the show's over, it's like, why are you wearing a Price is Right shirt?
Well, you're a big fan. You can wear it on occasion.
Huge fan.
You know?
I could. It's true. I absolutely could. So, all right, guys, go grab that 5% UFC play and grab the Monday Night Football play. Let's get this week started off right. We will definitely be in play tomorrow in the NHL. So look for all those plays. Don't forget to hit the like button. Leave us a comment with some of your wins over the weekend. Let us know how good you did. Let us know some of your best bets and what you like for tonight. And congratulations to everyone that survived in the survivor pool. Good luck on all your plays. We will see everyone Wednesday on the Road to Millions.
Good luck.